Elkhalil, and this is my up-to-date research, I guess you could say, my summarized research up until this point on my discourse community. So if we begin, go to the next slide. So this is my, I guess, summarized or shortened version of my synthesis map. So as you can see, my discourse community is the finance discourse community. And then within that discourse community, I decided to pursue investments, and I came up with three questions that I thought would be uh, worth researching. So first being, is starting my own business worth it? The next being, is saving your money really the best option for personal finances? And then the last, what is the best investment one can make? Now, at this point, I was stuck at a crossroad, you could say, because I was not sure which to start investing, or not investing, start researching first. Um, so I just decided that, you know what, I think the best route to take would probably be the best investment one can make, because I feel like that encompasses the first two questions within it. Um, and so I thought, you know what, I could definitely find the most, I guess, material on that, because there's a plethora of material for finance and investing. So we'll X those two out. And then from there, I was stuck at another crossroad. So here, I was not entirely sure about the mode of investing, I guess you could say. So investing is a very general term. Could mean anything, right? Investing could mean investing in your health, investing in your family, investing in yourself, your time, whatever the case may be. And then I thought, what kind of investing am I really talking about at this point? Am I talking about strictly financial investments, or those other investments which I call general investments? Um, and from there, I also decided to make another choice, and that was strictly financial investments, because just for the sake of the project, I really want to know more about the financial side of things, and less about, I guess, I don't know, I want to call it trivial, or more like deeper thinking type things like investment in your health, your family, the case may be. I wanted to focus primarily on the best way to make good money, I guess you could say. If we go to the next slide here. So the source material that I used mostly books and scholarly papers and articles. The reason for that is because many of these things were written by people who are very seasoned in that field. So many of them were a lot of financial analysts, advisors, um, or entrepreneurs, whatever the case may be. They have firsthand experience in that field, and I thought, that's very invaluable. Um, I'm sorry, that's very valuable. Sorry, I probably used the word wrong. But yeah, I thought that was very valuable, because that's pretty much the source. That's where I want to be. That's where I see myself in the future at some point. I'd like to be, an entrepreneur, or whatever the case may be. And I thought, why not go to the source? It gives me also just a broad idea of what I think investments I should make in the future, because they give good background on specific types of investments and the ones that they've made and their experience with it also. If we go to the next slide here. Now, here are the questions and problems and the gaps that I came across. Um, so in here, I said, not sure if this counts as a problem, but the biggest thing is that all of this depends on my opinion at the end of the day. And the biggest problem with that is that I'm still inexperienced. Um, I don't feel like I can make any sort of judgment on what the best or whatever investment is, but just for the sake of the project, I will have to. It just makes me a little scared, because, um, I'm afraid that I'll maybe pick the wrong answer, even though there really isn't, like, I guess, a concrete way of doing things within this field, because, at the end of the day, people are just giving their opinions on what they think is the best and which ones to avoid. And at the end of the day, I'm the one I'm doing the same exact thing. However, like I said, I'm still inexperienced. I think the biggest gap is that of cryptocurrency, among other things. So among other things, so there's also like the gig economy. I see that as good side hustles. Not a lot of people talk about it, especially the more seasoned investors. They don't see that as like a viable way to make money, and I think that's important to address because many of the younger generation are coming up and they want to know how to make the most money. And then there's all these options in front of them, but there's not that much research by professionals, I should say, because there's a lot of I guess opinion and research by people who are just starting to do it, and then younger people. But for me personally, I would only trust the word of someone who's a little bit more seasoned, a little more of a veteran in that field. And then, of course, at the end of the day, my biggest question is still, what is the best investment one could make? Simple, easy. I think that's something that's going to be a lifelong question of me or for me. Um, Definitely going to try to answer that as best as I can throughout my life. And then the last, my conclusion. So you said apply this in a hypothetical situation. This I feel like would be best deployed in my future self. So for me, it hasn't happened yet, so this is a hypothetical situation. But I do want to be a entrepreneur at some point, maybe open a business, whatever the case may be. Get myself to a certain level in a very well-known company. I have pretty lofty aspirations. Sure, I'm young. The real world will probably humble me, but you know, I feel like this would be best deployed for my future self just because I'd like to see the growth from when I was young to when I was older. Because I think, that's definitely, it's going to show where I was thinking and where my mind is at currently, show this to myself, 10, 20, maybe even 30 years down the line. And then maybe I'll be able to finally answer my question. Um, but yeah, as for the rest of my research, that's all I have for you. Thank you.